Hi everybody, welcome to Yagyaviyam. In today's video, we will discuss about the difference between FDI and FPI. So FDI, as we know, it stands for foreign direct investment and FPI stands for foreign portfolio investment. So apart from this abbreviation, what other differences do exist over here? That is what we are going to see in today's video. So let's start. FDI stands for foreign direct investment. In the year 1991, when India accepted liberalization, privatization, globalization reforms during the tenure of Manmohan Singh as the finance minister, FDI was introduced in India. Now, what is this LPG reforms? Liberalization, privatization, globalization simply means that the world acts as a global market in which the things can be exchanged very easily, and by the Act FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act, FDI was actually introduced. FEMA is an act which comes in the year 1999, and the provision of FDI are more and more strengthened in this particular thing. Now, this was just an introduction that Manmohan Singh introduced FDI. It was launched in the year 1991 along with LPG reforms, and then FEMA was there to further emphasize it. But let us go into a little bit depth that exactly what is it. So as you can see in this diagram, we can see a lot of monuments from abroad. If we consider India into our perspective. So for example, like we are considering here Paris, similarly Statue of Liberty, similarly different countries, similarly various European countries is what we are trying to consider here. Okay, so they are investing their money in the companies of India. This is what we are trying to say. So what is this FDI? First of all, the entire regulation of FDI is done by Reserve Bank of India. So whenever a foreign company or an individual, okay, so it is applicable for individual as well as a company. Whenever a foreign company or individual acquires greater than 10% of stakes in Indian company, then it automatically becomes an FDI. Okay, it automatically becomes foreign direct investment. So what does foreign direct investment mean? Take for example Amazon. Okay, let's take for example Amazon. What is Amazon doing? In India, it is setting up its own enterprise over here. It is employing a lot of people. Okay, so that is what it is garnering and generating employment in India. The output or the GDP growth is also done here. Now let's say for example this business suffers some kind of losses. In that case also Amazon will absorb that particular loss. So that means what? Overall ownership of a particular company or a part of the company is what we can say FDI is. So it is establishing new business operation or assets. It controls interest and also it aims to control some of the management part. So for example, MasterCard, Facebook, Amazon, we know all of these companies have great amount of FDI investment in India. Similarly, Facebook has given foreign direct investment in a lot of companies, like for example recently in Reliance Jio, which is a manufacturing sector company. In that FDI, Facebook has purchased some 9.99 amount of shares. Okay, so technically it is 10%. So actually it is 10%, but technically it is greater than 9.9%. Okay, so Facebook has acquired 9.99% share. That means what? It is an FDI. Then that particular company has to give out some favorable policy regime. It has to give some sound business environment also, and all these things will be there. According to UNCTAD, UNCTAD stands for United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. According to UNCTAD, India is the ninth largest destination of foreign direct investment in the world, and in Asia, it is the second highest country. That means what? A lot of countries are venturing in to put their capital or money in India and investing in Indian youth, investing in Indian area, investing in Indian economy. So that is a great news for India. Next up, what is FPI? So we just learned what is FDI, foreign direct investment. FPI is foreign portfolio investment. Okay, so basically this is also if an individual or if a company wants to invest in India, first of all it is just less than 10% of the share. Second thing is that this money or this particular investment is only for a short period of time, because they are purchasing the short period loans. They are not purchasing long period of bonds or something like that. Okay, so the government bonds which are very short term bonds, okay, like 6 months, 1 year, 2 months, like that. Okay, those kind of bonds are purchased here, and the excess money is pooled in India. However, there is a high chance that if there is some kind of danger, that money can be pulled out of India instantly and can be placed in some other countries. In that case, it can lead to inflation, it can lead to financial instability in India or instability in India. So that means what? Ki this particular money is volatile. Okay, this particular money is also called as hot money. That is why it is also called as hot money. It means the money that is not permanently available for a very small amount of time and can go out at any point of time. In the year 2020, the FPI limit in corporate bond has been increased to 15%. What does it mean? If somebody from outside, if some entity, maybe company or individual from outside is investing in India, up to 15% of the shares he is purchasing, then also it will be categorized under FPI only. Okay, so but it is only in the corporate bond. Okay, this is a new legislation that has come out in the year 2020. Apart from that, in all other sectors, the FPI limit is less than 10%. Okay, if it becomes greater than 10%, it automatically becomes FDI. Okay, the license is given by SEBI here, and all the jurisdiction, all the supervision of here regarding FPI is done by SEBI. So is FDI better or is FPI better? Who is better? So by now you would have yourself decided that FDI is something which is aiming at making investment for long term. It is greater than 10%, so it is a real investment, because here buildings are made, infrastructure is made, asset creation is done, employment is generated, GDP is enhanced, export is generated. So that means what? It is a real kind of investment that we can say. So they are certain, they are predictable, they take production risk, they have stabilizing impact on the production of the country. They will augment the production, output and export, and they are non-debt creating. Non-debt creating, that means what? We have taken some money, we do not have to repay it back. Okay, right? So if we say FDI, it is a more stable form of investment in India. If we now look at FPI, how is FPI there? FPI aims at profiteering. Okay, the main ambition is just profiteering. It is only for small period of time or short period of time. Here, if the capital is exceeding 10%, then automatically it will go to FDI. So it should not exceed 10% of the total paid up capital of the company. Here there is no real asset creation. It is a hot money. Hot money means what? It is very, very volatile. It can go out anytime. Then it is non-debt creating, but it is fluctuating. Okay, it is also non-debt creating, but it is fluctuating. Non-debt creating means what? Suppose India, Google is doing an FPI of some 10 billion in India. That means what? After the enterprises in India, whichever company Google has invested in, after the operation, the company has to return some kind of profit to Google. Now that does not mean that we have to repay this 10 billion amount of money along with some interest after some 18 to 25 years, like we do in the case of World Bank or IMF, from whom we actually borrow. So this is a debt creating thing. FPI, FDI, they are not debt creating thing. I hope my point is getting clear here. FPI, similarly, it is highly volatile. It is only a fair weather friend, not like FDI, which is an all weather friend. Then there is risk of currency crisis, destabilization, and all these things, all these problems can arise. So before 2015, in a nutshell, how can we say what is FDI and FPI? Before 2015, the types of foreign investment used to be three. One was the FII, foreign institutional investment, then FDI, foreign direct investment, then QFI, qualified foreign investment. After 2015, it has changed into FDI and FPI, where FPI has encompassed FII and QFI into itself. Okay, so these two things, these two things are no longer existing as a separate branch. These have been clubbed into FPI only. So now there are only two kinds of investment, FPI and FDI. I hope my point has become clear. Now, this is a quiz time which you should try to answer. What is the FDI limit of defense sector in India? As of 2020, what is the FDI? That means how much amount of money can be invested in the defense sector in India? The answer is 74. Okay, so amid the coronavirus cases, in the Atmanirbhar scheme, the government of India decided that in defense sector, a lot of FDI can be done, and this will be through the automatic zone. Automatic zone means what? Here, no extra government approval is required. Generally, we have two kinds of FDI. One is through the automatic zone, another one is the government route. Okay, automatic zone means what? The investor directly has to contact the company and directly has to lend out the money. In the government zone, like for example printing, broadcasting, in these departments, we usually do not allow automatic zone FDI. Here what happens, any particular company has to take permission from the government, and then the investment can be done into the broadcasting companies, like for example ABP News or NDTV News. Understanding? So for all these things, it is not, the automatic route is not allowed. However, in defense, automatic route has been allowed, and it has been up to 74%. My next question is, which country is the largest foreign direct investor of India? The answer is Singapore. Okay, so Singapore is one of the ASEAN nations. Okay, as we know, ASEAN and India are at a very good parlance with each other. They share a very nice strategic friendship with each other. So Singapore is the largest FDI investor in India. Okay, so I hope you would have understood FDI and FPI. In the next session, we will see some more interesting topics. Friends, my name is Yagyasani Patra. I teach on Unacademy Live. This is my referral code YAGYALIVE, YAGYALIVE. If you use my referral code, then you will get another 10% discount on your Unacademy Plus subscription. This is the Telegram link t.me/unacademyopsc. If you join this particular channel, you will get free study materials. Apart from that, you will get video updates about my next videos. For Civil Services 2021, Odisha Foundation course has been launched. So Nirman Foundation course, jaha ki 25th May start hai jaiche. In that, we are preparing students for Odisha Civil Services 2021. I am teaching Science, Tech and Current Affair in this particular course. So what are all my courses on Unacademy? First of all, Polity from M. Lakshmikant part 1 has been already completed. So you can watch the recordings, and my upcoming course Polity from M. Lakshmikant part 2 will just be started in June. So if you want to learn polity from me, you can join me on Unacademy. Then complete Science and Technology for OPSC and other government job examinations. Third, Current Affairs. So weekly current affairs also I am covering on Unacademy platform. This is my referral code YAGYA9, and alternatively you can also use my referral code YAGYALIVE, YAGYALIVE, for getting additional 10% discount. So आपण a referral code को भी use करी परिबे, and you can also use this referral code to get an additional 10% discount. These are my courses, so if you want to learn from me, you can join me on Unacademy Plus platform. So basically, what are the upcoming courses on Unacademy? First of all, there is a Garud course. In this Garud course for CPSC mains, that is the Police Services mains, grammar, that is Odia grammar, reasoning and general awareness are being taught by 3 great educators. Next up, Laksha OHC ASO course, in which for ASO aspirants, this particular course, it is a comprehensive course and it has started. The payment pattern is for 6 months it is 5,600, for 12 months it is 7,000 rupees, for 24 months it is 8,400 rupees. So as we know friends, when we prepare for this government job examination, we do not go for one government examination, we appear for many. Similarly, the preparation time is also not limited. We have to keep giving the examination. So according to me, the ideal plan is for 2 years or 1 year, in which not only one government examination like OPSC, but many government examination like OPSC, ASO, CPSC, Police SI, OMC, all kind of government examinations conducted by the government of Odisha will be given due importance, and individual courses will be launched for them. So you will get training not only for one exam but for many, okay, under this single platform of Unacademy. In this fee structure, you will get additional 10% if you use my referral code YAGYA9, YAGYA9, or if you use my referral code YAGYALIVE, YAGYALIVE, okay, to get additional 10% discount. Apart from that, there is no cost EMI option available for 6 months, 12 months and 24 months on your subscription. Finally, optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day and let's crack it.